I'm Rod Nakgaki. I've been involved in Young Life for quite a few years now. First as a committee member, my wife and I, and then as a Young Life leader for about a dozen years. And the last 4 years, I think it's been, I've been on staff as the director of the Real Life component of Young Life in Owatonna. Real Life is Young Life for a lot of the kids that haven't been able to connect with Young Life. They haven't felt comfortable going to the regular clubs. Most of the kids are from the ALC, the Actions School, quite a few kids from the 9th grade academy as well. We also service a lot of kids that have graduated but have been involved with Real Life for a few years and are continuing on their journey with their faith, and we've invited them to continue coming to Real Life. Our clubs are quite different from Young Life. We meet every other week, usually on a Tuesday evening, and we start out with a full home-cooked meal for the kids. A lot of these kids have needs that are, beyond their faith needs as well. They're real life needs, and some of them are hungry. And so the full meal that is provided by volunteers is a big draw. I have I think 82 families that participate on one of the 4 food teams that they're on duty every other month, and they provide the meal. So we continue after the meal with a fun activity, a game sort of thing, and again get the kids to relax and get to know the leaders well. We have a short 5 to 10 minute talk about, and our talks don't start out real faith-based. They talk about dealing with a lot of life problems that the kids are having now, and how to improve their lives and better handle situations. And then where we really get to know the kids is when we break up after that for 15-20 minutes of small group discussion, and where we talk to the kids about how their week has been going, what kind of problems they've had. We ask them to reflect on the talk and things like that. We do try to get around to the faith component of Young Life as well, but it takes us a lot longer. We have found that it has taken a couple of years for us to really feel like the kids are ready to hear a lot of more of the story of what Jesus has done for them. And a good example is this past year. We've worked on a core group of kids for a couple of years now, and we really felt they were ready, and we shared with them at Christmas time the Christmas story and the Easter story at Easter, and really felt they were ready, and asked them to make some commitments last spring, and several of the kids did and prayed the ABC acceptance, belief, and commitment prayer with us, and that was just huge for me and for the rest of the leaders. Some words that to me that describe Real Life are building trust. A lot of the kids have been abandoned by maybe by their school, maybe by parents, or they feel like they have by society, and so getting them to trust adults is huge. Another one is just being a mentor. That's what we try to do. We try to befriend them enough where we could feel like we could give them advice, and that takes a while. The way I first got involved with Young Life was back in, I think, 97 or 98, when my son Ben and his friend Eric Ramsey, and I can't remember if Kyle Jameson might have been there too. And they wanted to become they wanted to become wildlife leaders, and they wanted to go to leadership camp at Castaways in the fall and asked me to drive them up there. And I decided as long as I was going to drive them up there that I would stay for the camp as well. And it was during that weekend that God spoke to me and said, you need to get involved. And that's really what got me started. And then so I worked as a volunteer leader with Chuck and Young Life for about a dozen years. But when Lindsay Thompson, who started Real Life, when she decided to retire from that program, Chuck asked me if I'd be interested. And at first I laughed him off because I didn't have any desire whatsoever of getting, putting any more energy. I was retired and was looking forward to taking more time off. But God has a way of changing plans without consulting you all the time. He said, no, you're going to do this. And I inquired back to see if I could get involved with Real Life, and I haven't regretted it for a moment. It's been so rewarding. It's been life-changing. I really feel like it's been huge for my whole family. All three of my kids were very, very heavily involved with Young Life and went to camps. My wife Katie is now one of the leaders with me in Real Life, and we've brought in some of our friends as well. The Stefanis have both become Real Life leaders as well, and it's changed. Yeah, not just my life, but almost everything around me. To make Real Life work, it takes a community. Not only do I have, I think 6 or 7 other adult volunteer leaders that help me, but we've got 82 families that are on my food committee that are divided into 4 different teams that provide the meals for the kids. Once, each family only does, once every couple of months, but there's a lot of people that are working to make Real Life work. And then even more have helped with donations at Christmas time, and when we try to give the kids a stocking full of gifts. It's just been amazing how this community has provided for these kids in need. I used to be more, egocentric, and now I'm looking at much more at needs of others and what I could do to help and what I could do not to hurt and that sort of thing. So it's been great.